Hallelujah. I was just wondering when I'll be called home.
For us, coming to say that the warring factions have settled, we know that what has happened is not generally in the interest of Rivers State. Because whatever the agitations has not been in the interest of Rivers people. It has been in the interest of these political gladiators and these politicians. It is not in the interest of the average woman in the market or on the streets. It is not in the interest. They have decided on how they are going to share our resources, because I have said this before, that the issue of resource control has been the challenge in this state. And that is why we have continued to have this crisis. So, if they are now reconciling and agreeing on how to share our resources, they expect us to applaud, to put our hands together and clap for them. We cannot clap for them.
We also want to thank those that have actually involved themselves for this peace initiative. We want to especially thank the President and the Executive Governor of Rivers State, Siminalayi Fubara, for bringing down himself to this humble manner for peace to be actually initiated. In one of his statements that he said during the political tussle, he said that there is nothing too much for him to do for peace to reign, that no sacrifice is too big for peace to reign. So I want to give kudos to the Executive Governor of Rivers State, Siminalayi Fubara, who have actually initiated and humbled himself for peace to reign in Rivers State. I also want to say that the peace that has been initiated should not just be a peace online, a peace that actually been initiated on the surface, but should be a practical aspect of it. We need the practical aspect of the peace that has been initiated based on the fact that for some time now, during the crisis, a lot of people, a lot of companies, a lot of investors have located from Rivers State. A lot of the state have been stagnant because of the political tussle that have been going on in the state. So I want a situation, or we, Rivers youth, want a situation whereby the peace will not just be something that is a mere say statement or a statement on the media, but rather should be a practical step towards it by ensuring that those companies, those investors, those entrepreneurs that have actually located from Rivers State or Port Harcourt should be able to return back in a good faith.
The president brought this upon us, because if the president wanted to end the crisis in Rivers State, he would have ended this crisis long ago. Even when he brought out that 7 or 8 point agenda, where he asked the governor and some other persons to sign that particular agreement they had made earlier on. But what we find now is the president allowing the crisis linger. What the president has done now is the same thing he should have done then. Called his minister to order, asked him to allow Rivers State to survive. But the president allowed it. He declared a state of emergency, destroyed our economy, brought back insecurity. Because this state of emergency has brought back insecurity, Port Harcourt and Rivers is a shadow of itself. All cuts in the president. Remember, the Supreme Court has settled all the political impasses within Rivers State. We were supposed to obey the Supreme Court orders or judgment, as it were. But the president overlooked the Supreme Court decisions and went ahead to declare state of emergency in Rivers State, thereby destroying Rivers' economy. We're not happy with the president about it. We're not proud about what the president has done, even if he's now looking like, oh, he wants us, he has settled the problem with him. We know what the president has done. He has destroyed our economy, and that is what we have at the back of our minds.
We want to see a better Rivers State. We don't want to experience another round of political tussle that will be seen as a political peace. This peace shouldn't be seen to be political, rather should be seen as a peace that has come to stay. And those that are also involved, those that have actually been fueling this crisis in Rivers State, should also be part of the peaceful negotiation that has been going on. Then, at the same time, the youth of Rivers State has actually been so stagnant for a very long time. Our state has not actually experienced any level of development because of the political crisis that was going on in the state. So it is obvious that we need a serious government or federal government attention at this point in time. So the FCT Minister, like I said earlier, should do the best he can to attract federal government presence based on the peace that has been initiated. Then the governor immediately, the governor and all of that, the governor of Rivers State, Siminalayi Fubara, should also do the best he can to see how they can be able to meet up those the Songhai farm was trying to revive, should come on board immediately to attract entrepreneurs and to also attract investors. The Buguma fish farming that was also on the process, on the lips of Mr. Governor, should come back to power. And then not just all of that, then the Rivers State Transport Company that was also closed down should come back. All those things that was actually closed down, all those firms and companies, all those investment that was closed down for some time now. We want to see them being revived, not just being revived, but also being seen to be useful, and then also attracting job opportunity. We also want to see that immediately the governor is reinstated, we also want to see a situation whereby job opportunities will also all embargo should be declared or lifted for job opportunities in the state, because our youth has been so jobless for some time now. No income, the state has been so stagnant. So the reinstatement of Mr. Governor or His Excellency should be a good one.
What has been the problem? Resource control. And if they had agreed on how they are going to share our resources, it is to our own detriment. Even if some persons will look at it as a step in the right direction, but some of us who know exactly what they are up to and what these politicians has continued to do, know that this whole thing is not in the best interest of Rivers State. Even if on the face value, when you look at it, it is like, oh, it's at this point now we are going to progress. So they are going to have some level of progress, which of course is a welcome development. But we all know that what the Minister of the FCT and the governor is have been fighting over is the resources of Rivers State. Now they have settled, by the help of the president, on how to share our resources to our own detriment.
That's how you see it.
Yes, that is what has happened. If not, ask the FCT Minister why is he fighting with the governor. Ask the governor why is he struggling to remain in power. It tells you that the whole angle is who controls Rivers resources, who controls the political structure within Rivers State. And that's it. And the only reason the president has done what he has done is just for the 2027 ambition and nothing more pretentious.
And at the same time, want to call that Mr. President should make use of the peace initiative. This 6 months duration was already a point of challenge for all of us. To want to call on His Excellency, the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, with immediate effect, reinstate the suspended governor. I think with this peace that has actually been recorded, there should be no need for any further delay for the reinstatement of His Excellency Siminalayi Fubara. That's what is expected at this point in time. So we want to sincerely thank the sole administrator, Ibas, for have actually recorded 3 months in his stay. I've also got that to his profile as a former sole administrator of Rivers State. Please, thank you so much for the period you have stayed in Rivers State. We wish you well as you leave Rivers State for us. The governor of Rivers State should be reinstated immediately so that we can experience what is expected. Then the governor, the FCT Minister and Mr. President, you please, based on the peace initiative that has been on, allow the governor to actually perform his constitutional responsibility. That's what actually was the reason why there was a political tussle. So they should go back and look back, go back to the table. Those things that actually attracted the political instability that was still in the state shouldn't be repeated. That's what is expected at this point. We shouldn't go back and call for peace, and then at the same time try to do what was that actually affected the peace or the development of the state that resulted in the political tussle that took place in the state. We shouldn't go back to those things again. The House of Assembly that actually have not been taking orders from the governor, at least should start taking orders from the Excellency Siminalayi Fubara. We also want to believe that the House of Assembly at this point in time will meet up its expectation, and we allow the governors to also perform peacefully. Like the governor should also allow the House of Assembly to also perform their own constitutional duty, as well as the Assembly should also allow the governor to perform his own constitutional duty. The FCT Minister, most likely, should also allow the governor to perform his constitutional responsibility, because this was part of the reason why there was political tussle. So all of this should be laid to rest, and then the people should experience a new phase of Rivers State.
We're expecting that in the coming days, the president will call off the state of emergency. But like I keep saying, whether the president calls off the state of emergency in Rivers State or not, it will not stop some of us from seeing him as a non-democrat, because he never acted as a democrat in Rivers State. He destroyed a democratic institution in Rivers because of the 2027 ambition. It will not stop us as Rivers people, because he also went for that to destroy our economy. We're expecting that when the governor returns, there'll be some level of stability. We'll start licking our wounds, start seeing how we can progress from there. But we know that eventually what has happened is not in the best interest of Rivers State. This president has done Rivers State great disservice by declaring a state of emergency in Rivers State.
With this peace initiative, we want to see Mr. President opening our seaport, if that is possible. This should also be part of what the FCT Minister should demand from Mr. President, that our seaport should start functioning the same way the Lagos seaport is functioning. Our international airline should also start functioning effectively. These are also core that can also help the state to boost, and the economy should also, this are situation will help our economic situation to boost and also increase our state of affair. Thank you.